Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha's having a baby, part 3, and the final episode. This episode actually was better than last week. Let me put that in there, because y'all get real offended when I say some shit is boring, okay? Well, I guess it gotta be ghetto. I said it don't have to be ghetto, and it don't have to be boring. Aren't there more choices to an entertaining television show other than boring and ghetto? That's your favorite response whenever you say a reality show is boring. Oh, it ain't gotta be ghetto. Everybody ain't gotta be fighting. Anyway, it wasn't a personal affront on Porsha's character. I still like Porsha quite a bit. This episode was pretty good. Glad it's over though. We did 3 episodes is more than enough. Okay? So with that all being said, let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so we see Porsha laying on her couch. She's having some contractions, okay? It's about that time. 5 days away, she's going to be going in to have her scheduled C-section. While she's driving, Mama Diane calls her and says, I heard that you had... Look, she sounds like Tanya to me, a little bit more of a mature Tanya. Let me see if I can change it up. So I heard that you was having Braxton Hicks contractions. Yes, I did have a couple of Braxton Hicks contractions yesterday. The baby's already trying to turn up. 5 days, yes. It's about to happen. It's getting into action there. Body's getting prepared. Dennis gets home with the flowers. Thank you, baby. You know, Dennis says that he hates to fight with his girl. So this just puts them back on the right track, and then he wants to discuss baby names. Okay, he got all kind of ideas. Penelope. Actually, Penelope is a cute name to me. Poe. I was like the Teletubbies. Tinky Winky. La la. Poe! You guys are probably actually, you guys might be young enough no, you might be in that age range where you missed Teletubbies. Joe and Jada, well, Joe used to love Teletubbies. They was played out by the time Jada got around here. Anyway, Porter. Now, Porter is something that Porsha could get with. We can add that to the names. Okay, so they fold up all of these names that they've written down, or Dennis has written down, and we are going to put it in a jar, and then Porsha's going to pull out the name that Dennis would go on. All right, so she pulls out the name, and it's the one that she knows that she folded a certain way. It says Penelope. She don't want to name her child Penelope. She don't look like the type that would have a child named Penelope. Okay, Pilar definitely fits the whole Porsha dynamic, but she tells Dennis, well, let's make an agreement. If the baby comes out looking like me, then I'll name him Porsha Jr. But if he comes out looking like you, then we'll name him whatever you want. We'll get back to that at the end of the show. Porsha meets with Diane for lunch. You know, she says even though she's 37 years old, I'm still Diane's baby. I'm still my daddy's baby. So, I mean, I get it. Anyways, you know, when she sits down with Diane, you know, Mama Diane was like, so how's Dennis? Dennis is good, but you know, he's starting to start up this whole not necessarily wanting to be in the house. You know, everything now is your spot, your crib, your pad. And Diane was like, oh, no, he was not doing that before. No, he was not. Okay. Porsha feels like Mama Gina done been in his ear. I don't know. I don't feel like Dennis is all that controlled by his mother. As much as Porsha would like to think. But yeah, I mean, the mom is around, but he seems to make his own decisions as far as what I can see from the show is going on. I mean, Mama Gina just is one of those ones that has to give her opinion. But Diane was just like, well, you know, there's no way that, you know, we can be in our children's marriage like this. You know, Diane is going to fix it, damn it. She going to sit down and talk to Mama Gina. I said, oh, you are, huh? But before we get to that conversation, Porsha and Dennis, they have their last doctor's appointment just a few days before the C-section. You know, they just have to check to make sure that the baby is in position. Even with the C-section, you know, they prefer for the baby to be, I think, upside down. that the baby is the right weight. There's no, issues, nothing that can throw them off the path at the C-section. So that was all normal. She was just like, the baby is so big right now. I'm glad I'm having a C-section, and Dennis is too. And then when Dennis looked, she was like, leave that right there. Don't say nothing else. I was just like, I don't know why, honey, because that snapback is nice. I ain't had no problems with the cooch afterwards. TMI. But this conversation that Diane and Gina gonna have, you already kind of have an idea how this is gonna go, but we gonna entertain it anyway. When Diane gets there and sits down with Gina, we get through the pleasantries, oh, the baby is almost here, and oh, you look great, and oh, you look great too. Mama Gina, like I said, she has stepped it up. Diane, y'all know she my favorite she my favorite mama on the TV show, just looking at how so fly she is all the time. So I'm just sitting there smiling. Once we get through these pleasantries, now what about this move? What about it? As far as Diane is concerned, you can't expect Porsha to be doing no moving right now. She's about to have this baby. And Mama Gina said, I ain't said nothing about them needing to move tomorrow, but why we can't move, period. I don't know why Gina has it in her mind that I think she's just feeling like if she doesn't stay on Dennis's back, that he is going to succumb or just try to please Porsha and not do what he wants to do. Again, he doesn't strike me as that type, but I think that that's how Gina sees it. Diane says now is not the time. She's about to have this baby, and the escrow could be 45 days. That could be 1.5 months. Oh, the baby would be here, and we would be in the middle of a full-blown 9,000 square feet house move. Okay, now what kind of sense does that make? Well, Gina can't argue with that, but she still tries to. They talk about the business, and, I was just like, now, this is where I guess if I was Gina, I would have some eyebrow rising too. Because she was just like, now that they're going to be married, the business, that's going to restructure everything, things are going to change. Well, things might not necessarily change. I mean, as far as Dennis's end is concerned, yeah, he has a wife now, but there's still ways to protect his business with his mom. So the same way that I'm sure Porsha will protect her businesses that she has. Okay, just because you married don't mean that you got to bring him in. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, perfectly fine, but it doesn't mean that it's required. And if you want to make sure that that stays separate, then there are lawyers who will draw up them kind of papers that will keep that shit separate too. Then, of course, the nail in the coffin was the prenup. You guys know Gina's feeling on that. She feels like they need to do it like yesterday. And Diane was just like basically trying to tell her, you need to stay out of it. Okay, we as parents, we just need to not be in their business. Let them handle whatever it is that they have to handle, honey. Gina was like, I'm never going to be out of it. Never will mind my business. Never will mind my business. Her son's business is her business. Diane sees that this is not going to go anywhere. Okay, Mama Gina was just like, how about we just agree to disagree? Okay, and Diane was like, well, how about we just don't see each other till we had a baby, and we just be fake, family, and we just get around each other on the holidays and all of that. And honey, Gina was just like, if that. Honey, Gina was just like, don't think you're gonna come up in here with your cute little sassy self and think you're gonna tell me what to do about my damn son. Mama Gina was not trying to entertain Diane, and Diane got so upset. I said, listen to Diane. Diane ain't used to not getting her way, just like Porsha. Porsha and Rickey Smiley meet up. They gonna have Mexican food. They having a conversation again. I don't know how many people we need to have a conversation with Porsha about the fact that you need to make shit more comfortable for your man in your house if you want him to feel like that's his place too. She says that she values Rickey Smiley's opinion. Not only are we work buddies, but we are real friends too. So how's everything going? Rickey asked Porsha. Well, she's just trying to get prepared, and she's just trying to make him comfortable. And, she explains to him how she got the house set up in the basement. He was like, in the basement? Like, how are you supposed to be cool in the basement? That ain't really gonna work. No man really wants to move into their woman's house. So after you guys get married, okay, which should be a target, that should be around a target date. I said 6 months, so that sounds about right. You guys need to be making arrangements to move. I don't know if Porsha agreed on that one, but at least she realized that she needs to make him more comfortable. So at least he would be comfortable with the idea of possibly staying there longer than 6 months. But yeah, I think Dennis is already ready to go. We already know that. So, you know, she thankful to Rickey Smiley for opening her eyes and letting her know that she needs to fix this. So when she leaves there, her mom called. Hey, Mommy, how did everything go with Gina? She says, well, honey, It fell apart real quick with Gina. I told her that we could wait until the baby was born, and we didn't have to see each other any other time. We could be fake families. And she was like, if that. And Porsha was just like, oh no, Mommy, no. We're not gonna be like that. We about to be family. We can't be having the mamas fight like this. Okay, so now Porsha and Dennis got to get them together so that they can all be on the same page. Cut the snake's head off is what Porsha said. I said, is Gina a snake? So we have Porsha and Dennis. They have Gina and Diane over to the house, just so we can all sit down and really try to hash this thing on out. When Diane gets there first, you know, she was just like, you know, I really couldn't even sleep last night because I was thinking about it so much. And, oh, that's the Diane voice. It's coming now. It's coming, y'all. And here is the last episode. But it really did upset me because I was hurt. And I know that she was hurt, too. Diane don't want no bad blood. They're about to have all this happiness in the family. Porsha's family is all about happiness. Okay? So when Gina gets there, you know, Gina sit down, honey. Gina got this look on her face like, She says hi to everybody but Diane. Well, you know, she says hi to Diane, but she gives everybody else hugs. And Porsha was just like, now we not gonna be like that. Oh, yes, we are. At least for a little bit. Because once Diane get off her chest how she feel, you know, that she didn't want to be fighting with them. And, you know, she just feels like they need to be out of the kids' business because that's them. And, you know, we can't break them up. You know, how horrible would it be for them to be together and not anybody else break them up, but the mamas break them up? You know, this would be so terrible for the mamas to break them up. How horrible would that be? I said, oh, you done made Mama Diane cry. You done made my girl cry. Now that's a problem here. Oh, mean ass, evil ass Gina. And Gina's sitting over there like, wait a minute. Now they ain't told me. They didn't tell me we was doing all this. Now Gina wasn't signed on to be making nobody cry. Gina felt bad, and she actually genuinely seemed like she felt bad. She was just like, I'm sorry, Diane. Diane came over there like, I'm so sorry, Gina, because she gave her a hug, because damn it, Diane ain't about no fighting. She too cute for that. And so, you know, Gina tells her she's sorry, and we finally put an end to the whatever this little small tiff between the mamas are. Porsha realizes that even though she thought it was a good idea for the mamas to move in the house, no, absolutely is not a good idea. We just gonna have nanny power, and yeah, I think that's good. Y'all figure this out on y'all own. Now, another thing that we need to do is try to help Dennis get organized. Maybe that'll make him feel a little bit better. I don't think she moved his shit upstairs or anything, or maybe she did. I couldn't quite tell where that was, but they have some professional organizers come in and organize the closet because Mommy go downstairs look for his clothes as an angel, and when he come back upstairs, he's mad as the devil. The professional organizers come in there, they hook it up. Like I said, it's her shit and his shit. Y'all saw them heels, okay? They definitely don't belong to Dennis. So that's made Dennis considerably more happy. And then it's the day before her C-section, and Dr. Sherry comes and makes a special visit to the house. You know, I only go to special people's house for Dr. Sherry says, so what's happened since the last time I talked? Well, Porsha did make room for him in the closet, just trying to make him more comfortable. Well, Dennis, how does that make you feel? And Dennis says it's a start. Okay, well, what about you, Dennis? What have you been working on? Dennis says, well, you know what? I just try to pick my battles. I said, boy, let me tell you, that is half of the fight. When you know that you cannot fight about every fucking thing. I have one of my friends that always calls me who is like in this, who's very she's very strong-willed, okay, and so she's in a relationship with this guy who's very strong-willed as well, and I just be like, you cannot fight about everything. Certain things you just not gonna, your mind not gonna change. Like, my husband and I have very strong, very different opinions about different things. Do you think I got time to be sitting up there with Mr. arguing every fucking day about some shit that don't even make no sense? It don't matter. It ain't gonna change nothing. I'm not changing my mind. You not changing your mind. Like, what are we arguing about? That's just how you feel. Okay? I feel how I feel. I think we've cut in there, and I will say, it take a long time to get to that point. So, for those who are getting started and already realize that, then you already, like I said, you didn't won half the battle already. So you know what, Dennis, you're doing pretty good. So Porsha and Dennis have become a team, and they ready for their baby that's coming the next day. Now, it's the big day, and child, their big day is totally different than any one of the big days that I've had. I was just like, child, she in hair and makeup, and you know, Dennis is popping bottles around the house. I said, I guess this is how it is when you going for a C-section, and you know it's scheduled, and you don't go into labor, and your water don't break, and you don't be sitting up there having contractions and can't breathe and trying not to scream and cry, because once you start screaming, you can't stop screaming. So you just try to hold it in, and everything. I said, girl, you doing real good. She getting her makeup done, you know, baby, don't get too drunk back there. Dennis was like, damn it, we about to bust a Christeezy. Okay, and we're gonna have something to celebrate. Dennis is happy, which is always a good thing to see when the parents are happy. Their baby is coming. You know, she's getting her, like I said, all done up. Lauren is coming, her mom is coming, and we gonna go have us a baby. They get in the car, and like I said, she's just chilling. She was just like, Lauren, let's act like how people act when they going into labor. And Lauren was like, okay, well, girl, you need to be, you know, kind of like screaming and yelling like you in pain. Yes, that's exactly it. Don't scream, though. Those of you guys who about to have a baby, this your first one, I'm gonna tell you, keep that shit tight. Keep it together. Once you start screaming, you lose it. So just try to control yourself so that you don't feel like you are out of control of every single thing. Anyway, getting back to the show. Porsha's excited. She's reflective. She's saying how she's just wants her baby to know that she's loved, and if she was to watch back at this show, you know, when she's older, she would know that the family fought for her to be here. Literally. So yeah, it's a joyous occasion. Always a beautiful thing to see. And the baby is born. Of course, we don't see any of that. We just see Porsha's vantage, you know, or just actually Porsha's face. And you can hear her mother saying, she's beautiful, and, you know, everybody's happy. So happy for Porsha. Porsha's come a long way since that first season on Real Housewives of Atlanta, wouldn't you say? And then afterwards, you know, she's got to get readjusted. She did have a C-section, so that's cutting through all kind of muscles and shit, you know, it's a major surgery. We see her breastfeeding the baby, and then we see that camera shot of the baby's face. I said, that baby looks just like Dennis. So it's funny to me that the agreement was that she would name her whatever it was that Dennis wanted to name her, but then the baby looks just like him to me, just a light-skinned version, and we still got Pilar. Like I said, Porsha gets what Porsha wants. Dennis wants to please his girl. Pilar is a cute name. He'll get over the fact that it was an old girlfriend. But once she finishes breastfeeding, you know, you did it, baby. You did it. Then we get to the business of this push present. I feel like Tamar Braxton was really the one that made that thing popular. Were people doing that before? I had never heard of it. Maybe because you know, nigga ain't rich. So you bitch, you had a baby and then you go sit your ass down, you know. He might clean up for the week. Should cook the dinner for 2 weeks or whatnot, you know, make sure his mama will come over there and help you out or whatever. But push presents, you know, that's new. That's something now. Back when I was having Joe and Jada baby, the present was the baby. Take your ass on home. Because, you know, he is a Detroit boy through and through. And he's already made a name for himself of giving out these Rolex watches. You know, he has his jeweler come over and he got a Rolex for the baby. Okay, put that on there. You better take this Rolex off my baby. Dennis, take this Rolex off my baby. And then he got a two-tone Rolex for Porsha. They the two-tone Rolex family, all three of them, you know. She's just like, that's my man, Detroit through and through. Okay, he's so ghetto. Rolly gang. Okay, but that was pretty much it. Cute, cute, cute. Porsha's cute. Love her and Dennis together. People are saying that they want them to have their own show. Possibly. I mean, possibly it could happen. I think Real Housewives of Atlanta takes up a lot of their time already for any of them. Nobody has been able to really have a spin-off show with the exception of, well, even Kim didn't, because once Kim had her spin-off show, she wasn't on Real Housewives of Atlanta like that anymore. So, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, you guys, that is it. Porsha's having a baby, or the baby is here now. Alright, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. itsrox, the channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.